Can the worst possible Victreebel beat the entire game of Pokemon Yellow on 0 DVs, minimum battles, and with no TMs? Now, this might sound like an obvious question. I mean, Weepinbell just did it, right? But I think there's a reason why Victreebel might not be that good. Victreebel is evolved using the Leaf Stone. But Stone Evolution Pokemon don't typically get a lot of level up moves. We've already seen it in the series with Pokemon like Arcanine and Cloyster and Nidoqueen. And in this case, Victreebel is actually missing one of the single most important level up moves to Weepinbell's strategy: Growth. Growth boosts Special, and in Generation 1, Special is both offensive and defensive. That meant that when we used Growth and we were hit by Psychic attacks or Fire attacks or Ice attacks, we were actually getting a lot more defense against our greatest weaknesses. Victreebel, on the other hand, is just going to have to rely on Razor Leaf, Acid, Wrap, and Sleep Powder to get through this one. Is it going to be strong enough? Or will it go to the absolute bottom of the tier list? There's only one way to find out. Let's get into it. So first things first, we're going to name our rival today for my good friend Steve M from Steve M Plays. He's also doing Pokemon content on his channel, so go ahead and check him out. I'll put a link in the description below. You see, Steve and I were discussing this exact issue: Pokemon that might underperform their previous evolutions, and Victreebel came up on the list because the lack of growth is pretty incredible. But here, as we watch Professor Oak catch our Victreebel with a single Pokeball, we can actually see that its moveset isn't too bad for the early game. Razor Leaf has a high critical hit chance. It also has Acid to deal with Bug-type Pokemon, and it already knows Sleep Powder and Stun Spore. So this one might actually not really be that bad until we get into the late game, but we're just going to have to see if that's how it actually works out. So here we're going to go ahead and take on Steve M right here in Professor Oak's lab. Let's see if we win the first battle against the rival. So first, Rival 1. This is going to be a pretty easy one, I think. We're going to go Razor Leaf, and we outspeed. And Razor Leaf has basically a guaranteed critical hit here. So with Steve going down, we can move on to Viridian Forest, where we only have to fight the one bug catcher, and Acid is super effective, because in Gen 1, Poison is super effective against Bug. So it's a 2-hit KO. And just like that, we're already moving on to Brock's gym, and this isn't looking like a challenge at all at this point.
Here against Brock, I think these are going to be 1-hit KOs. Yep, that's a 1-hit. Oh, we don't care if you use Bide if we just 1-hit KO. So there we go. Victreebel through Brock. Only 3 battles, no troubles so far.
So with Brock down, we can use Acid on the bug catchers, and now we're going to learn our only level up move in this run.
Against Rattata, I'm just going to go with that. And now we get to learn Wrap, and I'm going to learn Wrap over Stun Spore. Stun Spore is not actually super useful in my opinion. We'd much rather have opponents be asleep and be able to just attack them rather than Stun Spore, which, yeah, it slows them down, but it gives them still like a 3 out of 4 chance of actually hitting, or at least attacking the next turn.
So the simple addition of Wrap makes all of these poison types in the early game so much easier, because we have a neutrally effective move to use against them, and Victreebel's actually fast enough to outspeed, so we easily make it to the Super Nerd.
So here, against the Super Nerd, I'm going to Wrap the Grimer. I think this is the best strategy for taking it down, unless he disables that. Okay, and we're not going to learn Poison Powder in this one, at least. Okay, and I guess we just need to go for Razor Leaf against Coughing, and it works. And we're taking the Dome Fossil every time. I always take the Dome Fossil. I don't understand why people like Helix. Come on. Now Ekans is showing that it can Wrap too. This is a Wrap battle. And Meowth is 1-hitter. And now we're just gonna Wrap. You might ask, why am I not putting Pokemon to sleep like I was in the previous runs? It's because I don't really need to. Like, I'd rather go for Wrap when I'm out speeding and just deal damage and lock them in, as opposed to you know, when I'm outsped, I'd much rather put opponents to sleep so that I have fewer opportunities of my opponent hitting me. There we go. We one hit the Goldeen, and now we're going to go against Misty, and I'm going Razor Leaf. That's a one hitter. And with crits, oh, that's a two hitter. We took Misty down, never in question. I don't think she would even have a chance to knock us out as long as Razor Leaf doesn't miss. We're going to take on Rival 2 right here. And against Rival 2, could go a lot of ways, but this works. And now I'm just going to Razor Leaf everything. Is it a one hitter? No, it's not. Oh, we didn't one hit Eevee. I'm sad. I'm sad.
With Rival 2 and Misty going down, we're actually starting to see that, at this point in the game at least, Victreebel is much better than Weepinbell. The fact that it has Razor Leaf is really strong at this point in the game, and Wrap is handling pretty much everything else. Acid has its specific uses, and we're going to definitely see it used a lot as we go through the game. So the fact that we outspeed is probably the biggest single factor and why Victreebel isn't having any trouble on any of these fights in this section of the game. That being said, its speed advantage probably won't last into the late game. We're just gonna have to see how that goes, but for this section, hey, Hiker, one hit KO with Razor Leaf. Here, when we find a Nidoran, okay, we're just gonna use Wrap. We have an answer for everything. And because we have easy answers, we don't even have to mess around with Sleep Powder at this section of the game. Here, it's a 2-hit KO on the Drowsy, we're just taking down the Pidgey Girl, and we're getting on to Rival 3.
And now it's time to fight our rival. I'm just going to heal up just in case. And let's try to take this fool down. So here's one spot where I am definitely going to put a Pokemon to sleep. That was a one hitter. Nice. One hitter. Nice. One hitter. Oh. We are definitely a little overpowered at this point in the game. So let's take on Lieutenant Surge, and the plan is pretty simple. I'm going to try to put him to sleep. There we go. And Razor Leaf, not quite a 2-hit KO, but it is 3-hit KO.
Getting through 3 gyms with 0 resets is pretty incredible, especially given that this is a first attempt with Victreebel. I haven't optimized this run, I haven't gone through and seen what the ranges are, but we have just an answer for every single battle. This is a really balanced attacking moveset, and we're making our way through Rock Tunnel. We're going to take on the Rock Tunnel Hiker.
So on to the Rock Tunnel Hiker, and the game plan, pretty simple. Razor Leaf is going to one-shot everything, unless it misses, and then we're going to survive a self-destruct, because that is how you play the game. That is the big brain strat right there.
So that was as easy as expected, and we're going to fight the last trainer, make our way out of Rock Tunnel, and go fight Rival 4.
Let's do a quick comparison, folks. We're going to go fight Rival 4, because that's what we did with Weepinbell. Let's just do the same thing, right? We put it to sleep. Now we're going for some Razor Leaf and Acid. Boom. Now Razor Leaf, one hits Magnemite, one hits on the Shelter. Oh, we're about to one-shot the Sandshrew. How about Eevee? One hitter. One hitter. Boom.
So with Rival 4 going down, there's one more thing I want to test. How does Victreebel do against the Ghastlies? If you'll recall from the Weepinbell video, Weepinbell took multiple resets here because it was outsped, but Victreebel actually is faster than these Ghastlies at this point. And Acid and Razor Leaf are doing decent damage, so this is giving me a lot of confidence for later in the run against Agatha. She might not turn out to be as big a wall as we think she is, as long as we can put her to sleep. So now we move on to Celadon, we take out Clefairy Girl, we fight in Erica's gym, and execute's really easy. We have Wrap and we have Acid. We can use either and take it down without taking any damage. So now it's on to Erica herself. Let's see how this one goes.
Erica. Game plan for Erica. Put her Pokemon to sleep and spam either Wrap or spam Acid. Now, we outspeed Tangela, which we did not with Weepinbell. We're also at a higher level, so we take that one down. Okay, we've put this Weepinbell to sleep. It's a 3-hitter with Acid. And now Gloom hits us with Acid, you jerk. But that gave us a badge boost, so I'll take it. And we take it down.
So that's now 4 gyms down without a single reset. And here in the game corner, these rocket grunts are underleveled compared to us. Wrap does perfectly fine against their Pokemon, and we're able to pick up the lift key and just make our way over to Jesse and James pretty quickly. I think they will be just fine, as well as Giovanni, but let's find out.
And I think I'm going to try to Wrap against the poison types. Like, I mean, poison moves obviously don't do that much here. Okay. Meowth, we're going to use Razor Leaf. And back to Wrap for Ekans. Here, Acid.
So we take down Team Rocket, and now it's on to Giovanni, where Razor Leaf should one-shot Onyx and Rhyhorn, but let's see how it goes against Persian.
Okay, Razor Leaf. Boom. Razor Leaf. Boom. Razor Leaf. Not a one-hit KO. That's a little disappointing. I'm always disappointed that I don't one-hit KO the Persian. I want everything to be a one-hit KO against Giovanni.
You know a run's going pretty well when the biggest issue you've had so far is that you didn't one-shot Giovanni's Persian. We move on to the Lavender Tower, where we can take on Jesse and James at the top, where, yeah, they have evolved Pokemon, but again, we can just put them to sleep. We can use Wrap strategies here, and we're basically going to win 100% of the time in this fight. Yeah, we could lose if we make a lot of mistakes, but that's really it. So we're just going to whittle them down slowly, and once the wheezing goes down, we can save Mr. Fuji, get the Poke Flute, and now we have some options. We could fight Rival 5, or we could go down to fight Koga. I think I'm going to go fight Rival 5 in this one, because against Sandslash and Cloyster, we have a super effective move. So as long as we can one-shot both of those Pokemon, I think we'll be just fine. So we just have to take down the one Rocket Grunt in Silphco in order to get access to the card key. We get paralyzed in this one, but it's not really a big deal. Even with paralysis, Razor Leaf is just a couple hits to knock it out, and we're on to Rival 5.
Let's try it once. So here against the Sandslash, there's no point doing anything other than Razor Leaf and Razor Leaf. Now we level up, which, let's see. Yeah, we're in a speed tie here. So I'm going to put the Magneton to sleep because I don't really want to be hit by it any more than I have to. And now Psybeam, we survived, but Sleep Powder missed.
So this is the first kind of difficult fight in the run, where it's really just can we get the Kadabra and Flareon to sleep. Flareon outspeeds us, so I decide to use 2 rare candies and try it again.
Okay, and we just leveled up here too. So we take out Kadabra, and now we outspeed Flareon. Let's take him down. Boom, okay. So only 3 resets. So now let's take on Team Rocket. And this is really part of the plan, is get as many levels as possible before going down to fight Koga, since we don't have the same advantage. Okay. Here we're going to go for Razor Leaf on Arbok. And 1 Razor Leaf should be more than enough for Meowth. Let's just try Giovanni here. Okay. So here I'm going to go for Wrap on the Nidorino. I think it's perfectly fine. I think we go for Razor Leaf on everything else for the rest of the battle. Okay. Nidoqueen. Razor Leaf's looking like... Ooh, it's a 3-hit KO even. Okay, but we've leveled up to level 40, which is pretty good.
So now I have to decide between Koga or Sabrina. They both use psychic type moves, but Sabrina has bad AI, so I decide to take her on first.
We did take Flash, which is bad. Our accuracy's shot. So if she goes crazy with, like, attacking us... Yeah. Okay.
So Sabrina is actually the first really big difficulty ramp in the entire run. And it kind of makes sense. We have a weakness to her typing, her Pokemon are really strong. What we need to happen is for her to use an X defend turn 1 on Abra, or for Abra to miss with Flash and to connect Sleep Powder. If we can avoid all the accuracy drops, I think eventually we'll get through this fight, but let's just see how many attempts it's going to take, because we're adding quite a few at this point.
And for the record, the reason that I'm trying to take down Sabrina instead of going down to face Koga is because Koga has smart AI, so his Pokemon are guaranteed to try to use strong psychic type moves against us, whereas Sabrina's just kind of random. In Pokemon Yellow, that is. In Pokemon Red and Blue, I believe she actually has smart AI, but not here. Here, she's kind of dumb. Okay, so we knocked that one out. Okay, Alakazam's asleep. We haven't taken as many flashes, but come on. Come on. Come on, land. There we go. We got it. Okay, 7 resets. I'm pretty fine with that, actually.
So with Sabrina out of the way, we can move on to Koga's gym, where we can take down the jugglers, and they're really no problem. They don't have smart AI, so they go down very, very easily. But it still remains to be seen if we can get through Koga.
Venomoth. Basically, that's the game plan. Venonat 1, we put it to sleep. Okay, we can go for Acid. Probably a 3-hit KO from the looks of things, given that that was a crit. 3 hits there. Okay, we're doing fine. Last one might be a 4-hit KO. It is. Okay. So now we got Venomoth. Use Toxic. Okay, so it can use Toxic against us. That's important to know. Toxic, of course, is impossible, but the AI wants to use it because it thinks that it's poison type and that we're grass and we're weak to poison. Same reason that Champion Sandslash will only use Poison Sting against a Victreebel. Okay. Come on. Stay asleep, buddy. But it should also be possible to use Leech Life. Okay. We put it to sleep. Stay asleep. Defense drop? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, that's not too bad. Get through Koga. We're only on 8 resets. That's not bad at all.
I was so sure that Koga was going to be a wall in this run, but actually we're doing better than our previous runs with Venomoth and Weepinbell at this point, and now we're on to Blaine. Let's go!
At the very least, reproduce the run in its entirety. I just think that's really important, personally. Again, like I said, I'm probably in the minority in that opinion, but... Okay, Stomp is huge. Growl might have just helped us, though. Not here, but in the sense of... Let's see. No, okay, so we don't outspeed. And Fire Blast 1 hits us. Okay.
This is the first spot in the entire run where we're really seeing the effect of not having growth on our Victreebel, because Flamethrower and Fire Spin are doing way too much damage. I decide to use some rare candies here, because after using our rare candies to get up to level 49, a single Tail Whip or Growl will let us outspeed the Arcanine.
Oh, but that's clutch. See, because now we actually outspeed Arcanine. And we can go for the defense drops from Acid. Take him down. So, is it ideal to use the rare candies there? No, but it does put us in range that one incidental badge boost from our opponents allowed us to outspeed.
So with rare candies, it was only 3 resets on Blaine, which is pretty amazing. And now we have a type advantage on Giovanni, so this should be easy, right?
Giovanni, obviously, he can knock us out. I think once we get to the Nidos again, we'll be fine, because the Nidos will never attack us. They will just use Tail Whip. So I think we just take out Dugtrio and Persian as quickly as possible. Now, it doesn't really matter what we do against the Nidos. In fact, you could argue that we want to get the badge boosts from them just to make sure that we're as fast as possible. Maybe we get a random, like, non-critical hit against Rhydon, I don't know. But here, let's just go into Razor Leaf. And if we don't miss, I think that's a one-hitter. Yes, it is. So there we go. Giovanni was not too hard. Not too hard at all.
With that, we're on to Rival 6.
Cool. So this should be a one-hitter. But Execute, I do not believe is a one-hitter. Oh, wait, is it just going to use Poison Powder on me? Yeah, sweet. Okay. So never mind. Execute is no problem. Magneton absolutely must be put to sleep, though. Okay, knock it out. And Kadabra must be put to sleep.
Rival 6's Kadabra is the single biggest wall we've faced in this run to this point. And the reason why it's so strong is pretty simple. We have no way to outspeed. And here, against the Flareon, if we can't keep it asleep, a Flamethrower can knock us out. If we had Growth right here, we would set up our growths, and then moves like Psychic or Psybeam or Flamethrower wouldn't do that much without a critical hit. But we don't have access to growth, so we just have to take them down by hopefully getting both of these Pokemon to sleep and getting enough hits before they wake up. Can we do it? And how many attempts will it take?
See, I mean, when we're using multiple sleep powders and missing, that's just bad luck. That's just bad RNG. So when I say that I'm losing because of bad luck, that's a situation where I definitely feel the strategy is fine. We're just losing because of bad RNG. Even with Reflect, just a 3-hit KO. Okay, and we'll take that. There we go. So, had quite a few resets there. We're up to 19. Which means that we can only have 13 resets in the rest of this and match Weepinbell. We've almost made it. We've almost made it to the end. But actually, I think this is the beginning. This could be the beginning of the end.
So with that finished, we can make our way to the power plant. We can pick up the last rare candy in the game, plus the PP up in the Mega Elixir. And let's start thinking about the strategy for the Elite Four. Lorelei shouldn't be hard. 4 of her Pokemon are water types. Bruno is Bruno. Agatha could be really tough. I'm hoping that sleep will be enough for her. And Lance, he has an Aerodactyl that knows super effective moves against us. Can we get through? We're just gonna have to find out.
It's time for Lorelei. And the game plan against Lorelei is Razor Leaf. Okay. Well, this is a win. That's a one-hitter. That's a one-hitter. Jinx is probably the toughest opponent here. Okay. Lapras needs to go to sleep. And Razor Leaf does the job. Cool. That is one Elite Four member down. And it's time to take on a random bug catcher. So here, Razor Leaf is doing the job against the Hitmons and Onyx. I think Machamp we need to put to sleep though, just to be safe. We saw that Hitmonlee did outspeed, so, which he is the fastest of Bruno's Pokemon, so that makes sense. But now we're on to the toughest trainer, I think, in this entire run, which is Agatha. Let's think about this. We do not have the advantage of having badge boosts. And we're definitely going to be outsped by all of these Pokemon. I think we should use rare candies here. I think this is like the obvious play, to just use the rest of our rare candies. And hope and pray. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so Leech Life did tons of damage. No. Okay, took so much damage there from hitting ourselves in confusion. No. Okay, went back to sleep. Okay, we took down Gengar. Ah, and Lick took me down. Ah, that was close. That was pretty close, gotta admit.
This Agatha battle is incredibly deceptive, because in the second attempt we got so close to knocking out her last Pokemon. If the Haunter had just used a Dream Eater while we were awake, or if it had missed with a Hypnosis, or if it had used Confuse Ray but we didn't hit ourselves in confusion, we probably win that fight. But that's not an accurate representation of just how tough this Agatha fight is, because most of the time we can get knocked out by Golbat. We can get all the way to the last Gengar but get knocked out. We can get put to sleep and hit with Dream Eater by the Haunter. In the end, we're not at 30 resets, we're not at 40 resets, not at 50 resets. It's not possible at 60 resets. No, we're moving on in this fight over and over and over again. And how many resets are we going to end up with? We're now going to 80 resets and soon 90 resets. And this fight would be much easier if we just had growth. Growth would allow us to set up badge boosts, which means that we would be able to outspeed most of Agatha's Pokemon. But in this one, we just have to grind it out.
Another one where we hit ourselves in confusion 3 times in a row. I mean, Agatha's got the right idea. Confusion's basically 2 double teams. There we go. We finally got it after 95 resets. Oh my god. Okay. Let's just double check. Not 100% sure on that. So, well, I mean, if we take a critical hit Hyper Beam turn 1, we get knocked out. Okay. So, Sleep Powder on Gyarados. We're going to go for Razor Leaf. Looks like it's a 3-hitter. Here, we'll just do Acid there. Now, I think we go Razor Leaf on the Dragonairs. It's a 3-hitter as well. I say that because against Dragonite, of course, Razor Leaf isn't going to be very good. Will be decent against Aerodactyl. That's a critical hit wing attack, so we get knocked out.
So Aerodactyl is tough, but there's another issue in this fight. Victreebel doesn't outspeed the Dragonite, unless we get one Leer from the Gyarados. So we actually have to let it use Leer to get through this one.
Because we've only got 66% of our normal defense stat after taking the Leer, okay? So now we get another Leer, which is what we wanted. Okay, knock out Gyarados. And it just has to be a non-critical hit wing attack. I'm not sure we can survive with this much HP. We just barely survived. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, and now we outspeed Dragonite. My strat is to go for Acid. Okay, we put it back to sleep. We put it back to sleep again. Okay. Defense drop. Oh, there we go. Finally. On 120 resets, we have gotten through Lance. And what a turn of events this is, that until the Elite Four, we had very few resets, relatively speaking. I think we got here on 18 resets, if I recall correctly, at the start of the Elite Four. And now we're on 120, and it's all Agatha and Lance. Agatha was the worst, Lance was the second worst. Now we're taking on the champion. Let's see if we can take him out. Okay. So here, I think we just go for Razor Leaf on Sandslash. And we're hoping not to get KO'd by the Alakazam. We survive a Psychic, that's important to know. A non-critical hit Psychic is not a one-hit KO. 4 resets now. Oh, this hurts. Okay, Alakazam is a 3-hit KO. I think he's probably a range. There. Okay, critical hit on Exeggutor. We'll take that. Okay. One hitter on Cloyster. Now, Flareon, just stay asleep, buddy. Just stay asleep. You don't want to wake up. Yeah. There we go. 124 resets and about 2 hours and 40 minutes to get through this one. This is by far and away the longest run and probably the most difficult run that we've done this way. The 0 DVs minimum battles, no TMs runs.
So the first run is done for today, and we saw that Victreebel completed the challenge, but it actually had some pretty big problems once it got to the Elite Four. Basically, it didn't get badge boosts, meaning it couldn't outspeed any of Agatha's Pokemon, it couldn't outspeed the key threats in Lance's fight, and it wasn't able to outspeed against the Alakazam against the champion. But is there a move that might be able to solve all of these problems? There is. Victreebel learns Swords Dance via TM in Silphco. We didn't have any resets until Silphco. So if we can just add that one TM, we might be able to eliminate a huge number of resets in this entire run by getting badge boosts and getting a stronger attack stat. Let's see if that works. Let's get into the second run. The second run starts out very similar to the first. Brock goes down easily, we're going to be able to take down Misty with no troubles at all as well, and Rival 2, he's a joke. We can just use Razor Leaf and knock out his Eevee. Which brings us to the first interesting fight, the Innocent Bystander.
Razor Leaf takes out Machop. Razor Leaf does not quite take out the Drowsy. No! Oh, you jerk. Oh my god, we got our first reset there. That was...
Sleep RNG can really wreck a run, but we take down Rival 3 with no trouble, so we're still on one reset. But last time, Lieutenant Surge was kinda close, so let's see how his battle goes.
Kinda makes sense. You know, it is me playing these runs. Whether I'm playing well or playing poorly, like not healing before fighting Lieutenant Surge. It is still me playing these runs, so you can say bumping into walls and making mistakes, but you know, it's the same person bumping into walls and making mistakes, so just my personal opinion. Okay.
So slightly worse luck in the early game, but Rival 4 goes down without too much trouble, we can take down Giovanni 1, and now it's time to see if Swords Dance will actually help us out.
So here, we're going to immediately learn this one, and we're going to learn it over Wrap. Okay, so now, against Erica, put Tangela to sleep, to 3 Swords Dances, Acid, Acid. Look at these super easy one-hit KOs here. So one-hitters. So now I'm actually going to go down to Koga's gym, I think, because we're going to outspeed, plus we're getting badge boosts. So there's also that. Psychic sucks. I don't want to take Psychic. Okay, we get a reset right there. Oh, and we actually have to fight this guy again. Okay.
So not saving before the second juggler actually came back to haunt me because we had a reset on the first juggler. They're kind of hard, but hopefully we don't have as much struggle on Koga. Let's find out.
Almost 14% chance of critting, so. Okay, so here, against Koga, Venonat 1, we want it to go to sleep so that we can set up Swords Dance. Now Acid is a one-hitter. One hit. Still not quite a one hit, okay. That was almost a one hitter. So go to sleep, Swords Dance, Swords Dance, Sleep Powder, Swords Dance. Okay, so that one is a one hit KO. We can't have the crit, come on. So we'll just put that one to sleep. Not quite a one hitter. Okay. So now that makes Venomoth a 2-hitter. So we're on 6 resets. Not too bad. And that gives us the badge boost in speed. So now we've got nothing to worry about.
Only one reset on Koga was clutch. And now we can go back and take on Rival 5. Let's see how Swords Dance does here.
So you're a Razor Leaf. You're also a Razor Leaf. We already know that. Here, I'm going to put Magneton to sleep. Set up Swords Dance. 2, 3. Now I'm just going to Razor Leaf and heck Acid. We outspeed Acid. Outspeed 1 Acid. There we go. Rival 5 is no trouble whatsoever.
So Rival 5 is no problem, and now Giovanni's a cakewalk. So we're going to move on to Sabrina next.
So now Sabrina. The game plan is to hopefully put Abra to sleep. And now set up Swords Dance. We're at least outspeeding Abra now. That's a one-hitter. Okay, we got KO'd. That's okay. One, two, three. Now we outspeed. Nice. It doesn't have to use Psychic on us. Can use lots of other moves. Can just use Recover, for Christ's sake. Kinesis failed. And we take out on the 3rd attempt. Okay. So we're on 8 resets. Not bad. Everything else I think is probably pretty okay. Unless we take a flame.
In spite of badge boosts, we actually have a worse time against Blaine. He keeps getting critical hit flamethrowers with his first Ninetales. The other issue is that we level up in the fight, so we lose our badge boosts by the time we get to Arcanine. One rare candy will solve that problem. Let's see how it goes.
So I'm going to use one rare candy here, and the reason for using that rare candy is to avoid that level up. Oh, and it caused us to even be able to survive a flamethrower. That's dope. Now we're out speeding. And we put Rapidash to sleep, okay. Now Arcanine goes down. So adding a rare candy there made that one not even that bad.
So with that, Giovanni's easy, and let's see if badge boosts help on Rival 6.
So let's take on Rival 6. In this one, I'm going to put Sandslash to sleep, if I can. If he cooperates. Look how many sleeps we're missing. Man, that's nonsense. And now go for Swords Dance. Because here against Execute, we were hoping to one-hit KO it with Acid. Now, that's kind of bad because we leveled up after Cloyster, which was not what I was hoping for. But we still one-shot. Okay, not quite a one-shot, but a two-shot. Okay.
And with that, we're on to the Elite Four.
Okay, so we put Dugong to sleep. Nice. Okay, so we're knocking these Pokemon out fairly quickly, fairly easily. But there we just leveled up. Okay. So my game plan is to use one rare candy here first to avoid that level up. We want Dugong to go to sleep. We want to set up Swords Dance. Okay. Cloyster is a one-hit KO. Slowbro is not a one-hit KO. Jinx we outspeed now. And it was a one-hit KO. And now we outsped Lapras. Looks like two-hitter. Boom. Yeah, Lapras. Lapras's whole issue is speed, really. Great Pokemon outside of that. Okay, so now on to Bruno, where I think the strat is to put this Onix to sleep. Again, I'm going for badge boosts here. Because last time we were outsped by Hitmonlee, but now it's a one-hitter. That's a one-hitter. Machamp, we can just put it to sleep. 2 acids. Done. Okay. So now I want to use a full restore. I want to use an elixir. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty good at this point. Now, PP ups. We're definitely going to use it on Sleep Powder. think we use it on acid now, since we have Swords Dance. So I think I just used the 2 on acid. Okay, so now it's time to find out, can we eliminate like 90 resets right here on Agatha? We have 15 resets so far, which means that if we beat her with no resets, if we beat the rest of the game with no resets, we'll end up with a score of 97.5, which is pretty dope. But let's see if it's possible. Go. Okay. We outspeed Golbat. Look how much more damage we're doing. But we leveled up. That was bad. We didn't want to level up there. Okay. And we're outsped by Arbok in this one. Because we didn't use rare candies. So it seems pretty likely that we're going to need rare candies for this one. Okay. That's fine. I'm prepared for that. So I'm just going to spam all of my rare candies at this point to make this one as consistent as possible. Right? That gets us... I mean, we're as high level as we finished the whole game last time, so... Okay, 3. Now we're outspeeding. Which is clutch. So now we put Golbat to sleep, and that's a 2-hitter. We put Haunter to sleep. That's a 2-hitter. We put Arbok to sleep. 2-hitter. And we survive Psychic. Put the Gengar to sleep. And that's a 3-hitter if we don't get a crit. 4-hitter with the crit. We have 16 resets. And we've added 1 TM. Right? That's almost 110 resets off of this run. At this point, if we can make this hold up. So let's go fight Lance. And basically, the game plan here is the same. Put Gyarados to sleep, set up Swords Dance, and just start hitting it. Okay, we couldn't get it to stay asleep for more than a single turn. That was bad. Okay, there it actually goes to sleep. Okay. That was nearly a 1-hit KO. Okay. Those are 1-hitters. We survive a crit wing attack, but we got knocked out the next turn. Okay. So there's something important to note here, which is that we leveled up after Gyarados. And because we leveled up after Gyarados, I don't want to do my setup on Gyarados anymore. I want to do my setup on the first Dragonair. Okay. Now Acid's a 1-hitter there, a 1-hitter there. We still don't outspeed Aerodactyl. Man, we missed 3 sleep powders on Aerodactyl there. That was stupid. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That's should have been a 1-hitter. That is a 1-hitter. And a crit. Are you kidding me? Come on, Lance. Stop being a jerk. Oh, this is like Bruno. Or not like Bruno, like Blaine. Okay, I'm at least setting up the one there. Because it looks like even with all three, we don't outspeed Aerodactyl. That makes sense. We shouldn't expect to outspeed Aerodactyl. I'll use a 2-hitter after that. And Acid is a 2-hit KO on Dragonite. So there we go. Okay, 20 resets, not bad. Means that currently we haven't quite lost to Weepinbell. We might actually still get ahead of Weepinbell with this one. But we can't reset more than 2 times on the champion in order to make it happen. So let's see. Oh crap. I did not heal. That's bad. 2, 3. Razor Leaf here. And we leveled up. Ah, that's bad. And now we're just taking Kinesis like crazy. Okay. Okay, so we reset there because I was dumb and didn't heal like a dummy. So we have to win this one. If we win this one, Victreebel actually gets a spot above Weepinbell. If we lose this one and we win the next one, then they're technically tied. But Weepinbell would be ahead because it didn't use TMs. Oh, this is terrible. Okay. Gotta win this one. And Sleep Powder is not working with me here. And wait, we level up after that one, right? So... okay. So we do not beat Weepinbell. That's more like what we wanted. No. Okay. Okay, knock that one out. Good. And a critical hit psychic. Oh, champion, you're so bad. We don't actually need to put it to sleep. We just need to Razor Leaf it. And not take a critical hit psychic. Come on! No! We were so close. We were going to match Weepinbell at least. Okay, a non-crit psychic. That's good. Okay. We outspeed Executor. That's a one-hitter. Okay. That's a one-hitter. That's a one-hitter. One-hitter. Boom. So we get through with 25 resets. So not too bad. We knocked 100 resets off of the run by adding 1 TM.
So just like that, with optimizing only 1 TM, we were able to cut 99 resets off of our Victreebel and move it from the bottom of the A tier to a solid position in the S tier. It even leapfrogged Venomoth. But it still finished behind both of our runs with Weepinbell. There's a pretty clear reason why. Not all badge boosting moves are created the same. If you have a move that only sets up 3 badge boosts, something like Barrier, or Swords Dance, it's gonna necessarily be worse than having a move like Defense Curl or Growth. But we can see that Sleep plus badge boosting moves is an incredibly broken strategy. It's probably gonna let a lot of Pokemon get to the top tier of this list. So, how was Victreebel overall? It was pretty darn good, actually. The first run may have made you think it wasn't so great, but really, if you're using TMs, this is a great Pokemon to use in any solo challenge. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. Go ahead and drop one of those thumbs up down there. Show me some love. I'll see you in the next video. Later.